Today on the Platinum Patrol we have Wrathfire Roz up against Harry. Wrathfire Roz is being one of those dirty Protosses today. We'll have to see if he goes for some kind of cheese or a macro game. The Zerg? Well, he's a Zerg. He'll probably make some units and then attack, and then the Protoss will probably die because Roz won't have his AoE up. But we'll have to see. Roz looks like he's going for a low ground wall. Probably a good move. I have to say, I hate this map, Nightshade, because I can never see anything on it. Oh well. Anyway, Roz is going to build his gateway now. Looks like he's going to make his wall. Hopefully there'll be no holes in it. Unlike his ladder games the other day where he just GG'd as soon as there was a hole in his wall and two Zerglings ran in. It was pretty funny. Now we have the Zerg going for his hatchery, his gas, and probably a spawning pool now. Very standard build order here from the Zerg player. Roz, on the other hand, is also, well, maybe he'll make a quick Nexus. We'll have to see if this is the Nexus. He sprays for no reason. There's no opponent here. He just puts this down anyway. He wants you to know. Let's see why he submitted this. Back on the other side of the map, his opponent sees Roz's probe and rallies, it looks like, his queens, which he will probably be making soon. Setting his queen rally point. Roz back at home is going to build his second gateway, cybernetics core. For a moment there, he almost built that in the wrong spot just when he fixed it. And he leaves a little hole in the wall. This wall looks to be full, unlike the last one. Where's the grid mod like Age of Empires 2 has? That'd be nice. You can see if there's a hole. But you can actually see anyway, Ross. You just need to look carefully when you make it. Spawning pool finishes. Probably two queens starting. There's one. This will probably start one as soon as it finishes. He's getting gas. Probably for Zergling speed. Yep, there's the Zergling speed starting up. And we'll have to see if he goes for roaches or some kind of Zergling Baneling or Mutalisk maybe. We'll have to see. Roz could probably handle them all. If he knows what's coming. And he did get a pretty good scout in the early game, so he should know his opponent's build. The Zerg's taking a look at what Roz is doing from the high ground. Let's see what he notices. He can see the front wall. He knows the Nexus is here. On the other hand, Roz's scout. He saw the spawning pool, he saw the gas, and he saw the hatchery. Now, Roz is a random player, so he probably understands what this Zerg's build is pretty well. That is an advantage of playing randoms. You understand your opponent's matchups. Also, you can do random cheeses your opponent doesn't expect. Looks like the lair's starting. No big Zergling attack then. Roz finishes up a Adept, it looks like, to hold his wall. And he's getting his Warp Gate. Two Zerglings did run in here. Roz ran his probes around a little bit, and the Zerglings ran away. Not very intense there. That's probably why you put the Adept in here. It was just a couple seconds too late building. These Zerglings aren't going to do much. Just has some information what he's building, which is a Stargate. So, does the Zerg respond to this?
Our forces are under attack.
Not yet. He's probably going to wait for the lair to figure out what he wants to do. So Adept comes in here and kills the two Zerglings without taking any hit point damage. Ross saw this lair, so he knows he's not in any danger. Some Zerglings are running in here. He knows his opponent's going up to lair tech. So he felt safe to move this Adept out of the wall. So second Adept now. Let's see if he goes for... He can't go for some big Adept timing because he's going for the Stargate. Probably get an Oracle and some Phoenixes. He also gets his Twilight Council. Going pretty tech heavy here. Hope his opponent doesn't make a big Roach push. If he did, he could make a Void Ray though. That'd be pretty useful. Yeah, there's this Spore Crawler starting up from the Zerg. He saw that Stargate and he responded. Although, I'm pretty sure Spore Crawler doesn't cover this area of his mineral line, but he has queens for that. Some Zerglings run out. Third base is almost done. Back home, Roz is getting his second Phoenix on the way. Fixes a tiny little supply block there. And we'll have to see how well these Phoenixes do if his opponent responds. In the meantime, these two Adepts are going to get picked off by the Zerglings and the Queens. This one could probably run away. Take out this last Zergling and escape. Or, yeah, don't go back in there. It's not worth it. Some more creep spread coming down here. Our Zerg player is suspiciously low on drones right now, only at 32. He has 12 more in production right now, so that'll catch him up at least. Hopefully he doesn't spend too many more drones on additional static defense. He has what it takes right now. And also hopefully he's building drones. Raw sniped an Overlord, now he's supply blocked his opponent. That's pretty nice. Probably this one at the front. Yeah, it was this one. This one could get taken out too if Raw's knows it's here. We got 2 more Spore Crawlers starting up. Now these are unnecessary. Probably unnecessary at least. He's starting a bunch more. He's low on drones now. He spent 4 drones on those. He's gonna need more. He's gonna replace those pretty quickly. So he's building 5 Overlords to get out of his supply block. Now Raw saw this Overlord because, yeah, here they come. Here come the Phoenixes. This one's gonna go down too. Third base is starting up. That's great for Raws. Looks like he can do some harassment with his Phoenixes now, although there are Spore Crawlers everywhere. Hopefully he can deal with this. In the meantime, our Zerg player appears to be getting Hydralisks. A bunch of Hydralisks. 6 Hydralisks using the Hydralisk upgrades. Hopefully Roz is prepared for this. He has the Phoenixes, but he's going to need some kind of light, something to deal with the light units on the ground. Maybe some Storm, some Colossi. Phoenix Colossi used to be an army composition. I haven't seen it in a while though. More Phoenixes coming out. And it appears Roz is oversaturating this base until this third is done. These Adepts are on guard here. Nothing's getting by them. And there's the base. He'll probably transfer his workers. The Zerg moves his Hydralisk and Queens around. He might want to take this 4th base sometime soon. Maybe that's why he's moving his units there. So far, a very passive game. Not much action, but hopefully that'll change. These Phoenixes should certainly start doing something at least. Looks like he's got about 9 or 10 of them. They should do something. Come on, Ross. Use your units. Don't let them sit around here. Take out the Queens. Do something. The Zerg's getting a lot of extractors right now. He's up to 6 extractors, but only on 40 probes. Or drones, rather. He needs more drones. Like, he doesn't need all this gas income. He has almost 1,000 gas bank. He needs the minerals and he needs drones. Is he low on larva? He's got 6 larva. He's got injects going. He should be making more drones. Behind this, Roz looks like he's starting up 2 forges. 2 forges to get some upgrades. And here come the Phoenix. Here comes the Phoenixes. Let's see what they get done. These Hydralisks could zone them off, but Ross is going to have to hit places these Hydralisks can't get to. Just barely missed denying this base. Unlucky. Overseer goes down. And Ross pulls away. Probably a good choice with those Hydralisks there. See, these forges are done now. Hopefully he'll start his upgrade sometime soon. We finished Storm. He's got 4 High Templars gaining energy. These more High Templars? 6 Templars. Okay, so it's going to be High Templar. Probably going to need some more Gateways and Zealots for this. Yeah, there's 3 more Gateways. Probably still need a couple more at some point. And he probably wants these upgrades, especially if he's playing on the Zealots, which since he's researching Charge, he probably is going to. Fleet Beacon's halfway done too. Looks like we're going to get some carriers this game. And the Zerg's got all of his Overlords hiding over here above this base by the Hive. He's also building an Infestation Pit and a Spire, so probably going to see some more Zerg air units coming out. Probably for Corruptors to deal with these Phoenixes. In big fights, probably some Corruptors, maybe a couple Broodlords, and Infestation Pit. The Zerg's finishing up drones. He's going up to 60. That's much better now. He's getting close. The Protoss Raws is still ahead, though, which is very nice for him. Especially because these 3 bases are pretty secure at this point. I mean, there's basically 10 High Templars here. And, whoa, okay. It's a campaign base right here. Got 5 cannons and 3 shield batteries, and 2 Adepts as basically a turret over here. The Phoenixes are flying in. He's gonna get a Hydralisk or 2, and then probably get out. This one's gonna escape. So go back in, and maybe this Overseer dies. Nice, nice. And you could pick off these Queens, you know. The Queens are probably worth more. Well, the Queens and the drones would both be good to get. And Ross flies away. So far, he hasn't used these Phoenixes too much, but when he has used them, they've done alright. See how many drones he's got in this game. Just 9. 9 drones, a queen, and a Hydralisk. Plus a couple overlords and overseers. That's not the best. You probably want to be using a little bit more than that. He is building 3 Oh no, the Phoenixes! Well, he wasn't using them very much anyway. And there goes 8 Phoenixes, because the Hydralisk just ran underneath them and blew them up. Roz was not paying attention. Hopefully he can recover from that, because that was a big loss right there. His army just went down 20 supply. He was very far ahead until that happened. His opponent now can build a lot of units and take advantage. He's got 12 Hydralisks on the way. More upgrades, more overlords. Ross just starts everything now. Adept weapons, air weapons, ground armor, ground weapons, 5 pylons, a second cybernetics core, 9 zealots. Ross is just producing everything. He's building up for his big attack here. And if his attack fails, he can fall back on his upgrades, which will finish. His opponent is currently behind on supply, but he doesn't have to be. Just the 1 Archon. I'm not sure how well these zealots will do. They have 1/1, but the Hydralisks, and the Hydralisks only have level 1 weapons. There's still so many Hydralisks, and Hydralisks kind of do a lot of damage to zealots. That's what the storms are for. Speaking of storms, how many Templars are here? 9. There's 9 High Templar, and they're all full energy. There's gonna be so many storms this game. We're gonna have to put a counter up here. How many storms there are. And Ross is up to 5 carriers. Okay, he's basically maxed out. He's maxed out with a very strong army. And his opponent is not ready for this. This many Hydralisks, just mass Hydralisks. There's too many storms for this. This will die. He's going to have to split and get some kind of surround. A heads up fight to be taken out. Fortunately for the Zerg player, though, he knows what he's facing. Because this little changeling here is not detected. Because Roz does not have an observer. Nope, no observers to be seen. Not that you'd see them anyway because they're cloaked. But his opponent's going to know exactly where this whole army is at all times. And speaking of Roz not having an observer, that's 6 lurkers. Alright. Let's see if Roz is going to walk into 6 lurkers and die. That would be kind of funny, but he'd probably also lose the game. He's getting more upgrades. He's building an observer with his last 1 supply, but it's not here yet. These zealots will get shredded by these lurkers and Hydralisks. Ross is moving in. The lurkers burrow. Ross sees the lurkers and runs away. Very, very bravely runs away. Very impressive. So he's gone. There's Vipers now, too, for the Zerg gaining energy. Looks like we're going to a late game fight pretty soon. There'll be a big fight here. If Ross knows where the lurkers are, though, maybe he can take out some of these creep tumors around the map. Maybe even this base if he knows where it is. See what his scouting looks like right now. He doesn't know about this base. He can probably take out these creep tumors, though. That'd be nice. The Zerg still has vision of this army. Sending more changelings in. Ross now has an observer, so we can actually see them. But the creep still gives a lot of vision for our Zerg player, who is moving his units down here to fight. Ross is taking out the active tumors, which is nice. Hopefully he can get into position, because this is the fight, because this is not the position. It's been down this ramp. This is not what he wants to do. Hydralisk down here, backed up by lurkers. Probably going to be some abducts coming in here, and these carriers going down from our Zerg, most likely. See if Ross engages or pulls out. A zoning storm. The first of many, I'm sure, with this many Templar. More burrowed lurkers. Hydralisks are here, and the Zealots get baited into these lurkers, and they go down. The Archon gets pulled in, the carriers get abducted. There's storms everywhere. There's just so many. These Zealots in the back aren't fighting, though. Ross, send them in. The Corruptors are here, and they're standing in the storms. Standing in the storms is not the way to go, in case you were wondering. And Ross defeats the army and runs away. Morphs his Templars into some Archons. He's pretty low on interceptors, though, so he probably wanted to step back for a bit for those to rebuild. Our Zerg is remaxing, well, not remaxing, but rebuilding 23 Hydralisks right now. That will destroy this army of Ross. Ross needs to get out. More Zealots coming in. He's got all the level 3 upgrades coming in now, looks like. His army's getting scarier and scarier. More Hydralisks, more of the static D in here. A couple lurkers being morphed in. These drones were evacuated. And Roz gets out. Looks like these carriers might get sniped though on the way out. Hydralisk shoot at them. This one gets away. They get away. But then they ran around this rock and now they're gonna go down. These Zealots run in. What I was saying, Zealots take a lot of damage from Hydralisks. Let's see what these Hydralisks do. Harry could rebuild another 10 Hydralisks or so. Once he gets the drone or larva for it. Ooh, we didn't quite take that one out. And pays for that attempted assassination with 5 Hydralisks. That's pretty nice for Roz. Roz's bases are all very secure except this 4th. Which the Zerg, if he siege some lurkers here, he could probably, well, he probably couldn't do anymore. Roz just finished up our 3 carriers. And he's transferring his probes. Roz's economy is pretty good right now. He's got 67 drones, or 67 probes on 4 bases. It's pretty nice. Our Zerg player, though, it looks like he's got up his 5th base. Hasn't rebuilt his, well, rebuilding his 4th now. So his economy's okay, but he needs more drones. He has 10 larvae. He should probably just spend that larva on drones, and then, because he knows Roz isn't moving out, then he should probably just make some injects. Where's his injects? Where's his queens? This guy only has 2 queens. Need more queens, man. Not enough larvae here. That's the issue for him right now. Needs the larva, needs drones, needs the queens to get that going. He is building 12 drones right now. That's probably a good choice. Looker upgrades coming in. More corruptors. Corruptor upgrades. It's a pretty scary Zerg army, all things considered. The only issue is that it's missing the Vipers, and it's missing the corruptors right now. There's 1 corruptor. Now, if this was the Plat Patrol, this 1 corruptor would scare away his army because he thinks the corruptors are too strong. There's a lot of storms here again. A lot of Templar. Here goes some interceptors. The Hydralisks do kill the interceptors very quickly. But you've got to watch out for these storms. He probably wants to split these Hydralisks up some, do some kind of surround. This base is going to die again. No, not the 2 queens. Does he have any queens left now? No. This is a Zerg player with 0 queens. And what happens when you have 0 queens? You have no larva. You only got 8. He did build his drones, but he needs this fight to go well. And it's probably not going to go well unless he gets out some kind of tech unit, like a Viper. He needs some Vipers. He needs to pull the carriers in and then take out this army. Or he needs to split and do a surround, because sending in the Hydralisks all in at once isn't working out with how many storms Roz has here. Roz comes in here, takes out some more creep. Looks like he's building his 5th base with some more static defense. The big fight probably coming up now. Roz is getting ready. The Zerg player's getting ready. There are lurkers behind this. The real question though is, does Roz have an observer? We've seen that being his weakness before. He storms all over these lurkers. Oh, those storms on the Hydralisks are so big. So many Hydralisks just took a ton of damage. There's 1 observer here. These storms take out everything. All the weakened units, they back up. There's not much left though. He's gonna chase this retreating army. Their armies are still pretty even. Just the Zergs needs to stay back and let this recover its health. He's chasing after a Templar. Ooh, 1 storm. 1 storm. Oh, this Templar is the hero. The High Templar's got 11 kills. By himself. 2 storms. The Zerg chased with really low HP units, and that 1 Templar, so got 22 supply. It's a big deal. Because now the Zerg's army is way weaker. He's building more Hydralisks. Looks like he's getting a couple queens back. So hopefully his larva isn't as big a problem anymore. He has these 2 isolated active tumors. I like this. They could just spread and rejoin the others. But this Protoss, as a Protoss, Roz is so happy with this position. He's got 5 bases. He's got turrets. He has less production structures. Did he just kill a pylon and depower his upgrade? I'm pretty sure he's killed this pylon and canceled his shield upgrade. Lots of Bronze League move if I've ever seen one. Back up here, Roz's army's moving in. I wonder if he'll ever realize his shield upgrade didn't start. Probably not. Probably not going to make a difference, but that's funny. Alright, we got the lurkers burrowing in. A lot of Archons here this time. Archon, Carrier, Templar. This is basically the army Roz wants. These Templars are going to get exposed in their back. Maybe they'll storm over this. Ooh, sniped. 2 carriers get sniped. That's nice. The storms do some damage. His base is going to go down. The Zerg player needs some time. He needs to back up and get more units. He runs in, there's storms over everything. His stuff's so clumped. More storms go down, a carrier goes down, but all the corruptors die from being stacked so much. They flew out of the storms, but they took so many Archon shots when they were doing it. And Ross backs off after taking out another base. Maybe he doesn't... I don't know how he doesn't realize he's up by like 60 army supply right now. He has to know, right? What's he sees his opponent has no bases. And he has so many of his own. He's got to do something. He can just walk across the map and kill this guy. But I guess the 5 lurkers are too scary. He moves his army back and... oh, he did it! He chrono boosted the upgrade before he realized it was unpowered. Nice job, Ross. Then he builds a pylon. Okay, he did notice before the game ended, so that's good. In the meantime, though, we just have a random creep tumor just sitting here. Raw's hanging out. He's gonna go hunt this thing down. It's too scary. Look at this army just waiting around the creep tumor. Some kind of horror movie for the Zerg. Oh, but it lives. Raw's is so merciful. That also means he doesn't have an observer again. Are these 5 lurkers gonna scare away this whole army? They are, aren't they? Roz does not like detection, I guess. This creep tumor's laughing at him now like, ha, you don't have an observer, you can't see the lurkers. You can't see me either. In the meantime, the Zerg is getting bases back up because of this. He's back up to tied on workers. He has a good amount of money. And if Roz doesn't make his observers soon, there's a chance the Zerg's army, the Zerg could rebuild. Roz just took out a unit to rebuild his observer, but being the genius he is, he killed an Archon instead of an Adept. I would have just killed one of the Adepts, Roz, and not blown up an Archon. And then warping into Templars to replace the Archon. Pretty sure you had enough Templars, so not... yeah, you have 10 Templars. You didn't need them. Ooh, the Corruptors fly by. This is scary for Roz. Because... well, scary for the Zerg, I mean. There's only 2 carriers for these Corruptors to fight. This is a lot of army supply that can't help him. How many Corruptors is this? Like 10? Maybe he can keep Roz busy by threatening the bases. They all have cannons, except this bottom of this base does not have cannons. So if he comes in here and shoots it down, the Corruptor ability, that'd be great. But in the meantime, Roz comes into here. There's 5 lurkers burrowed here. Roz does not have his detection. These lurkers are just killing everything. So much of Roz's army just went down to these lurkers. Roz just lost 35 army supply to these lurkers. And the Zerg took no losses. And the Zerg sniped this base. So that's a fantastic move by Harry here. Taking out one of Roz's bases and also decimating his army for free. Well, not really a great move by Harry. It was just a stupid move by Roz. But, oh well. He's still so far ahead, he'll probably win. These Corruptors flying around looking to threaten more. Roz has given up on the carriers at this point. Well, he had given up. Now he's building 4 more. So he realizes he lost a lot of his air units at some point. Corruptors flying around. They need to get out of here. Yeah, the Archon will take... he needs to protect their health. The Archon and these cannons will do too much damage to them. He needs them for the fight coming up. Since when he flew in here, he saw these carriers in production. Yeah, so he saw them in production. He's building more Corruptors. He might be able to max out his army again before this last fight. How many larvas he got? 3? He's still only on 3 queens. These he hasn't been building enough queens. Roz has been killing them, but he also just hasn't built enough anyway, in general. These lurkers positioned down here, probably gonna meet up with these Corruptors. This is a fairly small army. I don't think he wants to fight Roz yet. This is like the Protoss death ball. Just missing the carriers. Where are the other ones? Here they come. Once these carriers get here, I imagine Roz walks across the map and kills his opponent. But based on how this game is going, that might not happen because the observer might die and Roz will have to run away. But we'll see. There's a lot of Templars. How many Templars are there? There's like 12 Templars here. That's so much Storm. There's actually not enough, not really that many carriers. There's so many Templar and Archons. Maybe a couple Void Rays added in would be nice. We use so much Storm, you probably deal with the Corruptors. But it takes a while because you can't stack the Storm damage. You have to sit through like 3 or 4 Storms to die. Maybe some Void Rays added inside of Zealous would be good. Anyway, so this is the last fight. This base is going to go down. The Zerg should let it go down and then use his bank to remax. Oh, this is so stacked. This army is so stacked. Get out of here. Roz, if you land a Storm on this, it'll do so much damage. Looks like the Overseer is going down. Zergling's going down. Get out. The Zerg's going to fight. He can't fight though. There's Storms everywhere. The Storms are pushing everything away. Storms on the Lurkers. The Archons are shooting. These Hydralisks get pumped up. The Archons are shooting down these Corruptors. There's nothing on the ground to fight the Archons, so these Corruptors by themselves can't fight this army. They need to go out and wait for backup. Zerg player, speaking of backup, is not building any. He's got 28 drones, or 28 larvae. He could build a lot of units right now. And there we go, 21 Hydralisks coming in. The Hydralisks don't seem to be working though. He needs to change up his army composition. He needs to add in some Vipers or something to pick these carriers out of the army, because he's having trouble engaging the carriers with the Corruptors. So you have to go over the Archons or into the Storms. He needs to pull the carriers out so we can take them out. Rose is getting his next shield upgrade. And this base is going to die. These Hydralisks are shooting the Assimilator Rose still when he tried to build a base over this factory. The Zerg coming in back here with too many Storms. These Corruptors go down. They do avoid the Archons, but the Storm damage is too much. The Hydralisks come in here. They're going to shoot down all the Interceptors. Hydralisks kill Interceptors very quickly, but here he has to GG, and there's like 5 Storms here for no reason. It looks like Roz has won the game.